Hello friends, in this video we are going to learn a very important topic, that is concept of mean term and max term. If you understand it well, then only you will understand K-map, grouping techniques in K-map, and also you will become champion while solving the problems based on the Boolean algebra. Let us begin. So let us see what is mean term. Mean term is defined as combination of inputs in such a way that it results in logic 1. Look at this. Mean term is nothing but, they are saying it is combination of what? Inputs. In such a way that it must result in logic 1. For example, let me tell you, we have variable, let's say a and b. Let's say if they are 0, 0, I'm going to express my mean term as a bar dot b bar. I'll tell you reason why. I want the input combination in such a way that it must result into logic 1. That is, let's say if a is equal to what? 0, then what a bar becomes? It becomes 1. Again, b bar means what? See, b is equal to 0 means b bar results into 1, and 1 into 1, it gives you product as 1. So only one thing that you need to remember, for a particular variable, if you found it 0, assume in the form of a complement form, and if the particular variable results in 1, then take it as uncomplemented variable. For example, let's say if the AB combination is 1 0, then since A is already equal to 1, consider A as in uncomplemented form, but since B is equal to 0, take B as B bar. So it is very simple. If a particular variable is 0, take complement of that variable. If a particular variable is 1, take the variable as it is. Do not complement it. I hope you are clear with that. So in that case, we arrange the inputs in such a way that it results into logic 1. As you can see, even this product will result into logic 1. Look at this. A is what? 1. What is B bar? Since B is equal to 0, B bar will result into 1. 1 into 1 will produce 1. So you have to make a combination of input in such a way that it must result in logic 1. The second very important point says that the mean term gives SOP expression. What SOP stands for? It stands for sum of products. Sum of what? Products. For example, I'm talking about products. Now what is meant by product? Like A into B is a product. Like A bar into B is product. Let's say A dot B bar dot C is also a product. Now these are individual products for which if I make summation, then it becomes what? It becomes sum of products. It becomes sum of products. So as you can see, this is what we called as SOP expression. So whenever you are making use of mean term, whenever you are using mean term, with mean term, what you get at the end is SOP expression. What is meant by that? Sum of products. So we will see that when we will actually start implementing it, then only you will understand what I mean to say. This is quite, I can say, a summary or the whole introductory about the mean term. You may not understand at a first slide. So just hold, just wait for the problems to come, and then you will understand what I mean to say. So the first point says it is combination of inputs for which it results into logic 1. Mean term gives you SOP expression. Then the total number of possible mean terms is equal to always 2 raised to n. This relation is very, very important. 2 raised to n is the maximum number of mean terms possible. And what is n? N indicates number of input variables. For example, if you have a circuit having two inputs and let's say some multiple outputs. Now number of outputs for us doesn't matter. What matters is number of inputs. Check it out. How many number of inputs are there? There are two inputs. Let us assume those inputs as what? A and B. Since number of inputs are 2, how many minterms are possible for this? That is 2 raised to 2, which is nothing but 4. So please remember that the total number of minterms possible is always equal to 2 raised to n, where n indicates number of input variables. It has nothing to do with output variables. It is only going to consider the number of input variables. I hope the introduction to min term is quite clear to you. Similarly, we will get first of all introduced to max term, and then I'll give you the real-time example how to get min terms, how to get max term, how to use them in order to get SOP and POS expression respectively. So let's move to max term. As you can see, the max term it is defined as the combination of input in such a way that it must result into logic 0. Can't you see? It is exactly opposite to mean term concept. The mean term concept says it is combination of inputs in such a way that it results in logic 1, whereas max term is combination of inputs in such a way that it results in logic 0. For example, let us assume if the a and b value is 0 0, what I'm going to express my max term like this: a plus b. Try to understand, a is also 0, b is also 0. It gives you summation always equal to 0. For example, if a is 0 and b is 1, still I have to express in the form of sum. So what I'll do is I'll take a as it is since a is 0, and since b is equal to 1, I'll take b as b complement. Try to understand, when a is what? 0. What is b bar? It depends upon what is b. So b is 1 over here. So complement of 1 results into 0. 0 plus 0 again produces 0. So again you have to arrange the input variables in such a way that it must result into logic 0. So here we are exactly going to follow the reverse rule. In case of min term, if you remember, if the variable is 0, take it as a complement. And if the variable is 1, then consider the same variable in the uncomplemented form only. Exactly the reverse way we follow in max term. In max term, if the variable is 0, we consider the variable as it is, that is in uncomplemented form. But if the result, or I mean to say a variable, results in 1, we consider that variable in complemented form, as you can see that. So in a way, what maxterm gives you is POS expression. Now what is meant by POS expression? POS stands for product of sum. Product of sum. For example, I can consider a plus b is what? It is sum. Then a bar plus b bar is what? It is also sum. For example, a plus b plus c bar is what? It is also sum. Now I'm actually considering those sums and I'm taking product of them. Now this type of expression is called as product of sum. I hope you understand that. Now again, if you look at the total number of max terms, it is always again 2 raised to n. That is same as previous, where n indicates what? Number of input variables. If number of input variables, let's say equal to 3. For example, if n happens to be equal to 3, then total number of max terms possible is 8. One more thing, max terms are denoted with capital letter M and min terms are denoted with small letter m. Please don't forget that. Now I'm going to tell you how to use min terms and max terms. Remember, basically min terms and max terms is used to get the output expression for a particular circuit. I repeat what I said once again. Please listen to me very carefully. You can note down this point in your notebook. Min terms and max terms are used to get the output expression for a particular circuit, or to get the logic equation for a particular circuit. So what I'll do is I'll make use of min terms to get a logical relationship of output and input with respect to OR gate. Let's see. I'm using OR gate here. You know what is OR gate? A and B are inputs. This is how the OR gate is shown. And the logical relationship, I hope you know that it is A plus B. So now I'll teach you how y equal to a plus b is invented, or how it is observed. Let's see. If you remember the truth table for OR gate, it goes like this. A and B are inputs. 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1 are the possible combinations, isn't it? Next, let me talk about y. You know that when a and b are 0 0, output is 0. For 0 1 combination, you get output as 1. For 1 0 combination, you get output as 1. And for 1 1 also, you get output as 1. Because in OR gate, what is required, that at least one input has to be set to 1, then only output is 1. Of course, if both the inputs are set to 1, output is 1 only. Now with this, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to express my decimal positions here. So decimal positions are what? 0, 1, 2, 3, isn't it? Now for every decimal position, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to evaluate what are mean terms here. For example, for the first combination 0 0, I'm going to consider m naught. Please remember, I'm using mean terms, so I'm using small letters. How do I know that I have to use decimal position 0? It is looking at this m0. So if you remember, mean term is what? It is combination of input in such a way that it results in logic 1. For example, now here a is 0, I need to consider a bar. Here b is also 0, I need to consider b bar. Try to understand, a bar into b bar will always result in logic 1, because since a is 0, a bar is 1. Since b is 0, b bar is 1. 1 into 1, it results into 1. I hope you understood that. Next, I'm going to write mean term 1 here. Now it depends upon the input combination. Input combination, come on. A is what? 0. Let us consider a bar. Dot. What is b? It is 1. Consider the uncomplemented variable only. Again, a bar b will result in logic 1 only. Next, I have to consider the next combination, that is 1 0 1 0. So I'm going to write m2. How 2 has come? Because of the decimal position 2. Let us consider now a. A is 1, consider a only. B is 0, consider b bar. So it results in logic 1. M3, mean term number 3, and the last mean term. A and B, both of them are 1. So I'm going to consider that as A dot B, which results in logic 1 only. I hope you understood. For every combination of input, how did I find the mean terms? Here, have you observed that n equal to 2? What is n? N means number of inputs. Since number of inputs are 2, the number of mean terms are 2 raised to 2, which is 4. So number of mean terms have come to be 4. As you can see, there are 4 mean terms, m0 to m3. Now the time has come that I have to write the output expression. I repeat, the time has come, I need to derive the output equation. The derived output equation that I could actually see is y is equal to a plus b, but now that I need to prove that. So I'm going to prove that. Look at this very carefully. Whenever you are writing equation for y, you have to take only those mean terms in the output for which output is also 1. I repeat what I said. Whenever you are writing output equation, you have to consider only those mean terms for which output is equal to 1. Meaning that even though there are 4 mean terms, as you can see, there are 4 mean terms from what? From m0 to m3. All the mean terms are not going to contribute in output equation. Only those mean terms will contribute in output equation for which the output is 1. As you can see, the output is 1 over here. That is for m1, m2 and m3. Therefore, excluding m0, I can now write m1 equal to what? That is y equal to what? m1 plus m2 plus m3. As you can see, only for m1, m2, m3 output is 1. For m0 output is 0. So I'm not going to consider m0. I have considered only m1, m2 and m3. Now, particularly what I can write m1, m2, m3 equal to, see, can't you see it is actually summation? It is summation. So, okay, I can write summation over here. What I'll write is small m. What small m indicates? Small m indicates mean terms. So I'm just giving you the alternate way by which we can write. So in the bracket, what I'll write is, I'll write the respective decimal positions, that is 1, 2 and 3. So I can write 1, 2, 3. This is how we actually express the mean terms concept. Also, I can extend like this. I can write y is actually function of a comma b. It is common sense. Y is always function of a comma b, right? Which is equal to summation m 1, 2, 3. So further, what I can write, y is equal to, now what is the value of m1? The value of m1 is a bar b plus, what is the value of m2? Come on, m2 value is ab bar. Okay, I can write ab bar plus, what is the value of m3? Check it out. The m3 value is a dot b. So I'm writing a dot b. Can't you see that this is nothing but SOP form? This is nothing but SOP form. SOP stands for what? Sum of products. Can't you see these are products? And these are what? Sum. So these are sum of what? Products. And therefore, I said that in a very first explanation for minterm gives you SOP form. As you can see, they are giving you SOP form. Now, by observation, what you can do is just observe last two terms in which you can find A common. So I can rewrite my expression like this: A bar B plus, now I can take A common. What remains inside is B bar plus B. Try to understand what is B bar plus B. It is 1. So can't I write Y equal to what? It is A plus A bar B. Yes or no? Now by using other laws, I'm sure you must have watched Boolean laws lecture in which I have made you understand what is A plus A bar B. It comes in other rules where I can now write Y equal to what? Simply A plus B. And we are done. I can write Y equal to A plus B and we are done. And as you can see, this is actually the output expression for OR gate. So I have proved that by using minterms, I can get the output expression for OR gate. I'm sure you have understood now the concept of minterm and how to use them to get the output expression. Now we are going to see the concept of maxterm, and also I'll teach you how to get the output equation with the help of maxterm. Let us see. For this, again, I'll take the help of OR gate only. In the OR gate, again, I'll write the truth table. The possible combination of A and B are 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. The decimal positions are 0, 1, 2, 3. Output Y. For 0, 0, you get 0. For 0, 1, you get 1. For 1, 0, you get 1. For 1, 1 also you get 1 only. Now for every combination of input, you can write maxterm. If you remember, maxterms are denoted with capital letter M. So let's see. Now I can write M naught. So if you remember, maxterms are defined as combination of input in such a way that it results in logic 0. So as you can see, A and B are 0. I can write that as A plus B. Please remember, minterms are in the form of product and maxterms are in the form of sum. Next, M1, I can write A is 0, so I'll consider A as it is. But as you can see, B is 1. I want logic 0 at output. So what I'll do is I'll put B bar. Ultimately, A is 0, but since B is 1, B bar will become 0 and 0 plus 0 will result into 0. And that is my whole aim, if you remember. Then M2, that is maximum number 2. Since A is 1, I'll get A bar plus, since B is 0, I can write B as it is. And last for M3, that is maximum number 3, again A is 1, B is 1, I'm going to use A bar plus B bar in order to get sum as 0. I hope you understood that. And here also you can observe number of maxterms is always equal to 2 raised to n, where n stands for number of input variables. In this case, that is OR gate, number of inputs are equal to how much? It is 2. Therefore, the number of maxterms that you could see is 4. That is from M0 to M3. Isn't it? Now, what is your ultimate aim? Your ultimate aim is to write the output expression. So let me tell you, this time you are going to make use of maxterms, right? So for writing the output expression, you have to use only those maxterms for which output is 0. Please try to understand my point. In case of minterms, if you remember, we considered only those minterms for which output is 1. If you remember, let me just go back. There were total 4 minterms. Observe, there were total 4 minterms from M0 to M3, isn't it? But we have not considered all of them for writing the output equation. We have considered only those minterms for which output is 1. So as you could see, for M1 we had output 1, for M2 we had output 1, for M3 we had output 1. So I could write Y equal to what? Summation of M1 plus M2 plus M3. On a contrary side, for maxterms, what you are going to do is, look at this. Even though you got 4 maxterms, that is M0 to M3, you are going to consider only those maxterms at output for which the output is 0. Therefore, Now I can write y, which is equal to, now you are going to take only those max terms out for which output is 0. So as you can see, output is 0 only one time. Rest of the time output is 1, meaning that you are not going to consider m1, m2 and m3. Simply I can write y equal to m naught. Simply I can write y equal to m naught. And now I can write y equal to what? M naught. I can rewrite the same as y is actually function of a comma b. This is equal to, we do write pi. The way we write summation symbol there, we write pi here, then we write capital M here, and in the bracket we write all those decimal positions for which we have considered the max term. Unfortunately, since we have only one max term here with decimal position equal to 0, I'm going to write only one number over here, that is 0. So now I can write y equal to m naught. What is the value of m naught? It is a plus b. Just check it out. In the one step only we got the answer. In one step only we got the answer. It does not mean the max term gives you shortcut. No, it's not like that. It depends upon how many max terms are there you have considered while writing the output equation, right? So luckily or unluckily, I can say that there was only one output which is equal to 0. So only one combination of input for which output is 0. It might not be the case every time, and therefore you got the answer in one step only. I hope you have understood that. So this is regarding the min term and max term concept. Please remember, min terms are nothing but the combination of input which results in logic 1. Max terms are nothing but combination of inputs in such a way that it results in logic 0. Min terms are written in the form of product. Max terms are expressed in the form of sum. Min term at the end gives you SOP expression. Max term gives you POS expression. I hope you are clear with that. Please don't forget, min terms are denoted with small letter m and max terms are denoted by capital letter M. Thank you.